Somebody, I have no idea who, has made a TikTok where it says men do certain things, and it shows videos of me driving around in cars, spending money, and women do certain things, and it shows women cleaning. Women do certain things, and men do certain things. Somebody off their own back, somebody else has made that video. I didn't tell them to. I don't know who they are. I don't know what their account is. It's just viral on the internet somewhere.
Okay, so here we're getting a lot of distancing gestures with somebody else. We're getting this throwaway gesture, like somebody else did that. This had nothing to do with me. I didn't put it up there. This wasn't my doing. Me. Day. And that's fine. It's to be expected, that kind of thing. But what's the point he's making? Okay, so I agree with that. If you look at that clip where he's saying something like women have a certain role, and then whoever made that video put up these random like sort of stock footage of like house cleaners, and then men have a certain role, and you see footage of him in his car and, you know, living the good life, as though that's the point he was trying to make. If you look at that clip, if you look at that interview where he was saying women have a certain role, men have a certain role, he didn't allude to that. He didn't say women have a certain role, which is cleaning houses, and men have a certain role, which is, you know, making money and being rich and being awesome. That's not the point he was making. So that is faulty video because they've misinterpreted what he said. But he's being very selective with what he's criticizing. He is saying this is wrong, and he's right. It is wrong, but that's not all there is. We're going to look at some clips coming up where we have full-length things that are not out of context. So he's preaching here that, oh, these things were out of context, and it was, you know, that's not what I said because those housekeepers, that's not me, and that footage of me isn't me. But that's not the only problem. There are things that are not out of context that are worth consideration as well. Now, is he right in saying that people are being very selective what they're sharing? He is. Does it mean anything? Well, let's talk about that. So I want to share now a video that I saw at least 30 times when I was looking for Andrew Tate videos to analyze. This has come up so often. So this is on a channel called Standout TV, and he's being interviewed by an interviewer by the name of Cheyenne. And just listen to what he's saying here, because and keep in mind what he said, that things are being taken out of context, and I never said that. So let's look at this under that lens.
Just imagine in these scenarios we are together. Okay. What would you do if I wanted to start an OnlyFans?
I don't think there's anything intrinsically wrong with women doing OnlyFans, as long as I had influence and control over it.
What do you mean? Doing a video photographer and get the angles, yeah?
No. I'm not doing any real work, but just like taking all the money. If my chick said, I want to do OnlyFans, I'm like, all right, then cool, go do it. How much you made? 10 grand. All right, give me 8. All right, cool. All right.
What woman is going to give you 8 grand?
Because you're my woman, you're doing OnlyFans, you're selling my product. What the f?
Your product.
Yes,
The
correct.
woman, she's not
Next
your
question.
possession. No. Product. Like, do you own me? No, sorry. Like, your ego's a bit too big. You don't own me. I'm not a product. I'm not an object. Okay, Mr. Tate?
I'm just answering it.
I don't know if you're being serious.
I'm totally serious. How would I let my chick do OnlyFans and keep all the money? That's disrespectful.
What woman is ever going to give you that?
Then she better not do OnlyFans. Duh.
Oh my God.
That upset her, didn't it? It upset her to say that you're mine, and if you're mine and men want to pay for it, then the money is mine. But that's the basic dynamic of a relationship. You're mine. So if you want to sell what is mine, that's fine, but I need to get paid.
All right, so that's horrifying. And there's nothing out of context there. You said what you said. There wasn't extra footage being popped in. I took it right out of the interview. And people can excuse that. His fans can say, oh, well, he's just leaning into a character, and that's just a character, and he's being hyperbolic, and he says things to get attention, and that's fine. If that's your argument and you believe that, that's okay. But it doesn't absolve him of responsibility. It doesn't mean that he's not spreading a certain message. And to me, that's always been the concern, by the way. For those of you who watched the video, I don't believe in shutting down all his accounts. I said, you know, if there's certain videos where he's being violent or spreading certain negative things, then those individual videos could be reported. But I think overall, you know, you can't ban someone because you disagree with them. So that was my position. You can disagree, that's fine. But in this case, nothing's being out of context. He said those things. He spread that message. And again, if you want to say that's just the character he's playing, you know, this is an interview he's on, well, look at her. It's annoying her. I wouldn't say she's angry. I wouldn't say she's full of rage, especially because we're going to look at another part of the interview now. She goes right back to being smiling and having fun, and this is after, so everything was fine. We are seeing a bit of annoyance there. That's about it. But to me, it doesn't excuse anything to say it's just a character, because you have impressionable audiences that are following you. So, but I do want to say this. If you look at the hour-long interview with her, that is the single worst thing he said in the entire interview. It was extracted and shared, and I saw it about 20, 30 times, different channels, different music, different vibes, different commentary. It was the most shared thing from that interview. Let's take a look at another question in that same interview, open-mindedly.
What would you do if I didn't like your lifestyle?
What aspect of my lifestyle?
Maybe it was too flashy for me, flying around too much. Maybe I just want you to just slow down. It's a bit too fast-paced.
I understand. And I would respect the point of view.
So what are you doing?
I don't think I'd listen. My lifestyle got me to where I am, and I'm a sovereign individual who lives in the way he believes true. I would listen and I would understand it, and I would do my best to accommodate, but I don't think I would change. If you were to say, look, you can't do this anymore, I'd say, oh, I'm going to do it anyway, sorry. I'll try and make you feel better about it, but it's going to happen.
Okay, a very, very different vibe. Now, please listen to what I'm saying right now and try not to get too reactive. If I had no idea who Andrew Tate was, never heard of this guy, and you sent me just that clip, I'd be like, wow, good advice, coherent, seems firm but respectful. That's what I would see in that. So he has a point when he says that it's his worst things that are being circulated, but you have to keep in mind, he did say those things. So when he says, they were taken out of context, not really. You're saying these things, and yes, people are spreading the worst things you're saying, and there are pretty horrible things to say, in my opinion. You might disagree, but it's crazy to me how this clip, I had to go find the original interview. I had to watch the whole thing. I had to extract this. I'd never seen that anywhere else. The first clip where he said women are property, that was everywhere. So is he being misrepresented in the media? I don't know if he's being misrepresented. There's a certain part of him that's being highlighted. And a lot of people are defending that part by saying it's an act he puts on. Again, I don't think that that's a good defense by any means, because if you look on his comments, if you look at the people out there sharing that, they are saying that he's right and it inspires them and they agree. And there are reports out there of people, there was a lot on my channel of people saying that someone in their family, a young teenager, follows him and starts adopting this mentality, because they can't distinguish. You can distinguish between being hyperbolic and being sincere, but not everyone can. And they take that to be like, yeah, I'm going to be like that too. So there's a responsibility. There's a moral responsibility with having the following he has. We're also going to get back to him talking about whether this is a character or not, because we're getting conflicting information there. So let's move on right now. But it is important to note, though, that looking at this, there was 2 clips yesterday that I shared in my video at the end where I was like, yeah, that's great. But it was pretty one-sided in terms of the footage I shared. Let's look at this next part to see just how selective the clips are.
I